morning, everyone. Oh, sorry about that. My camera is a bit funny. Hello. I am here for this week's edition of Your Burning Questions, where I answer your questions about ADHD, nutrition, healing your child's body naturally. And so if you are listening to me live, will you go ahead and leave a comment and let me know if you can hear me? Because I've had a few troubles with Facebook over the last couple of days. I can see I've got a couple of viewers. So if you could just drop a comment right now, if you can hear me. I have had a couple of problems with Facebook over the last couple of days. So unless I can go in and see that if I can see it. Anyway, I can't see comments. Well, let me just go and get started anyway. Okay, great. Now, we had a really good question a few weeks ago, and I wanted to answer it today because I know there are probably many of you out there that are wondering about the same thing. So Catherine Crawford brought this question to us, and she said, I have a meeting to determine eligibility for an IEP, and I desperately need this for my daughter. She has a 504 plan, but I don't feel like it is enough. What do I need to say to get help that she needs? So Catherine, I'm going to dive into that in a second, but I want to say to all of you that 504s and IEPs are fantastic. At the same time, there are things you can do to reduce symptoms to help your kids thrive. And I want to give you an example. I was talking to a family yesterday that has been working with me for about 14 weeks, and her son had an IEP, and he had 4 things that he had to work on his IEP, and that was the last year. And anyway, they had another IEP meeting, and they came back, and there's only one little thing that he needs to work on, and he is at the point where he probably doesn't even now qualify for an IEP because of all the work we've done to reduce inflammation in his body so he can thrive. So I wanted to say that first, because there are things you can do to help your daughter thrive outside of that IEP. Now, while you're working through all of that, yes, an IEP and a 504 are great. But first of all, I want to say, Catherine, that I'm sorry that you're having difficulties with your daughter's school. It sounds like such a tough situation that you're in, and I definitely think that you're doing the right thing by fighting for what your daughter needs. Now, I do have some suggestions, but before I give those, I want to explain to others out there what a 504 and an IEP are, what they are, because I know that there are some people listening that don't already know. So an IEP is an individualized education program, and 504 plans can offer formal help for kindergarten through 12th grade students who are struggling in school. They're similar in some ways, but very different in other ways. So after this training is over, I'm going to pop a link to a helpful document in the comments to explain the similarities and the differences really well. And I think you'll find it really, really helpful. Now, the main thing you need to know is that in order for a child to receive either an IEP or a 504, their disability has to significantly affect their education. Another thing to keep in mind is that in many cases, your child will need to have an official diagnosis in order to get a 504 or an IEP. Now, to get the process started, you need to make a formal request for evaluation to your child's school. In some cases, just asking the teacher or the principal for the evaluation will suffice, but in others, you might need to write a letter officially requesting your child to be evaluated for either an IEP or a 504. That will get the ball rolling. Now on to Catherine's more specific questions about how to ask the school for more help than she's currently getting. These are some suggestions that I would make. So first of all, you want to be direct when talking with the school. Use facts, not emotion. The suggestions you are making is what your daughter needs so she can learn properly. Remember, you guys are on the same team. Both you and the school want your daughter to be the best version of herself. So try your best to come at the conversation as a partner rather than an opposing force. You want to make sure that you calm yourself when you're feeling yourself getting irritated, which you probably will feel. Slow and deepen your breathing significantly. It's always better to have a conversation when you're calm and you're collected. Don't try to change their way of thinking. They don't have to agree with you, but you do want to get them to a place where they will accept your suggestions and be willing to partner with you. With both 504 and IEPs, there are a lot of things the school can do to help your daughter. So these are a few things that I thought that you might want to write down to suggest to the school and see if they would be willing to incorporate them into your daughter's plan. Things like brain breaks. I'm going to pop these in the comments after as well. But things like brain breaks and a cool down area or a thinking seat, non-verbal cues or code words to signal the need for a break or to address inappropriate behaviors. Check in or check out on behavior and body regulation. Reward positive behaviors rather than, taking away recess, which is a story for another day. And I think it's so terrible that that happens. Ensure students know the school-wide expectations, classroom expectations posted, so like visual and pictures. Focus on relationship building. Allow choices when possible and when it makes sense. And assign jobs to build self-esteem or to be used as a movement break, to take like a note to the principal's office. A mystery motivator, so like a behavioral reinforcement system. Never know when they get the reinforcer. Constant application of rules. So those are a couple of things that you can do that you can bring into it. Other sensory things are really good. So incorporate sensory into lessons. Alternative flexible seating like a wiggle chair or an exercise ball, or the ability to stand when learning. Attaching stretchy exercise bands to chairs or legs or to the desk so the student can bounce their feet. Providing a weighted lap pad. Provide earplugs or headphones if they're sensitive to noise. Build sensory breaks into the schedule. Make sure the desk fits the student and allow the student to complete heavy work, so push and pull or carry items, and then also provide non-distractible fidget, so like that they can use in their hands. Now, I think the most important thing you can do in this meeting is share very clearly what you believe your daughter needs in order to learn. Now, I hope that answered your question. Remember to check back on this post in a few minutes, as I'm going to pop that link with more explanation in the comments about an IEP versus a 504, but I'm also going to put some of those directions that you could ask in her plan. So guys, hopefully that was helpful for you today. I know that was kind of off a little bit of topic of nutrition and holistic health, but those are some of the things you can help your daughter while you work out what is contributing to her symptoms. And just like I shared that story in the beginning, it was just so amazing to hear from this mom that her son might not even need his IEP anymore. And in only after 14 weeks of working at reducing inflammation in his body through food and natural solutions. So guys, hope you have a wonderful weekend. Look forward to seeing you next week. Pop any questions below if you've got them, and I'll talk to you soon.